Broadcasting from the great state of Texas. News and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Wait a minute. Chad Hasty's out. It's Steve Evans.
A Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Good evening, West Texas. Yeah, sorry about that. I just blew Nick out of his chair. About blew his cardigan off. All right, let's start over. Good evening, West Texas. Welcome to the Chad Hasty Show. Steve Evans hanging out with you. 806-680-2790. If you'd like to send a message, love to hear from you. A little technical bugs this afternoon, working all that out. But here we are. We are going. Election day is upon us. It's election season. I've got election dates we can talk about. I'll bring those to you, all your important election dates that are coming up. Talk about those here in just a minute. But I was thinking about not just the Texas Congressional District 19 race. Not just that one. That's the one that covers most of the listening area. We're watching that one, and a lot of good candidates in that race. It's going to be very, very interesting. But all across the state, I was just in Austin, Texas, the swamp of Texas, at the State Republican Executive Committee meeting. And it seems to be the common theme all across the state of Texas. Everybody wants to talk about Trump's America First agenda. I'm going to support Trump's America First agenda. I appreciate that. So is everybody else. Time to talk about something else. This is the weirdest campaign season I've ever seen. And then, of course, you know, this is the second or third major campaign that we've seen, season that we've seen, that the texting game is just brutal. And I carry two phones, and it's just brutal. Nonstop text. I get it. I mean, text messages work. The text system out there works. It is a way to campaign, but man, I get one after the other, and then I get multiples from the same candidate over and over again. I don't know. I feel like it's time to either go back to the basics or find a new tactic, find a new way. I'm not sure. Are you really reaching anybody? I guess it works. I mean, they wouldn't spend the money on it. Candidates wouldn't spend the money on it if it didn't work. I guess it does work some, but maybe it works the first couple you get, and then after that, you're just so sick of them, you don't even look at them. I don't even look at them. I just kind of glance. I see it's another statewide candidate or another. I just swipe it off, delete it. I tried to block them. I tried to report them as spam. It doesn't work. It comes from a different number every time. So, I don't know. I wish there was a different way. And they're the same cookie cutter message. At one point, I started screenshotting some of them. I had them all kind of lined up. They all said the same thing. No matter if they're running for statewide, for Congress, for a Texas House, it's all the same. We're going to support Donald Trump. Well, I appreciate it. However, we have to look at the midterms. Very, very important. But we have to look beyond that, too. What's next? And so, candidates, if any of you are listening, I hope you're out campaigning and you're not listening to me. But if any of you are, you need to start telling people what your plans are. You. Not that you're just going to be the status quo, because right now that's what we've got to vote on, is the status quo. It's time to start separating yourself from the pack and start showing us what you're going to do. I've been to forums. I've been listening to some of these, if you call them debates or forums. It's hard to hold a real debate, a real debate. Because there's going to be that one person in the debate that's just going to start throwing rocks, and it gets out of hand. And a candidate would rather not go and get beat up. It does far less damage if they just don't show up and take a beating than if they show up and take a beating. Sometimes it's better just to not go. Depends on who it is. Anyway, a lot of election dates to go through here. So the last day to register to vote was last Monday. If you have not registered to vote, I'm sorry. We are not Minnesota. We can't vouch for you day of. You can't go get 8 people together that want to register to vote and get one person to vouch for them. We don't do that here. The first day that you could apply for a mail ballot was January 1st. You will be able to apply, not send it in, but apply for a mail ballot on February 20th, and that has to be received in the elections office. Whoever your election authority is, they have to receive that application by February 20th, not just postmarked. That's it. If it's not in their hands by the 20th, you're not going to get to vote. You'll have to actually go vote in person. And yes, if you have a mail ballot, you can, and you decide you want to go vote in person, yes, you can. You can take your mail ballot down to the polling office, show it to the election judge. They can invalidate it, and they can let you vote once they prove you haven't cast the vote already, because you can't vote twice. Let's see what else we have. The last day of early voting. So first day of early voting, February 17th. It's the first business day after President's Day. Last day of early voting will be Friday the 27th, and then the big Tuesday primary election day, March 3rd. And if you're sending in a mail ballot, you got to have it there, not postmarked. You got to have it there by 7 p.m. Let's see. It does say Wednesday at 5 if the carrier envelope is postmarked by 7 at the location of the election, blah, blah, blah. Get it there. There's some military and overseas deadlines, and there's a little bit of caveats in there, but that's probably not any of you that are listening right now, because none of you are overseas if you're listening. I would love to think that we have some deployed troops out there listening on the internet broadcast. Wouldn't that be awesome? If you are, and you've got internet, text us, 806-680-2790. Don't tell us where you're at. You can't do that. Just tell us you're deployed. Love to hear from you. So those are your dates. It's all coming up pretty quick. And then if we have runoffs, then the texting and the campaigning will continue. It's not over till it's over. And then we'll have more campaigning until November. Then it'll really start. The fun will really start. Interesting endorsement today. I don't have the article up in front of me, but it popped up in one of my social media feeds. Turning Point USA endorses Chip Roy for Texas Attorney General. That was kind of interesting. Not who I really thought they might stay out of that one. It's kind of an interesting one, but they've endorsed Chip Roy. Very interesting endorsement. Well, let's see. I want to wait until after the break to do that one. There was so we can get through this interesting video. And listen, the Nancy Guthrie thing is very interesting to me because it is getting a tremendous amount of press, a tremendous amount of news coverage. And this is a horrible thing. And don't get me wrong. I don't want to seem like I'm not sensitive or empathetic to this. It's horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But there are lots of people out there that have gone missing and possibly abducted, and they don't get any news coverage. Not like this. Yes, I know there's some celebrity status involved in this. But it's very, very interesting, the coverage that it's getting. There's a new video FBI has released, offers a wealth of information that could help identify the subject seen in footage, according to a body language expert. That's what we're resorting to. Who says images reveal key physical and behavioral clues even with the individual wearing the mask. If you go look at it, it's kind of creepy. It's doorbell footage of a masked up person, supposedly the one that has committed this kidnapping. Susan Constantine reviewed the newly recovered images, told Fox News the footage shows details that stand out immediately from a behavioral standpoint. Be careful how you walk and move around. You don't want to be identified. According to the expert, the subject's jawline appears puffy, which could indicate hair beneath the mask. Also said the subject's head shape and lack of visible hair suggests they might be bald. It's interesting that they're now telling this suspect how to disguise themselves because now we know what they know. They also pointed to a backpack which appears to be full, a detail she described as significant when assessing preparation. Or got to change of clothes. I don't know. From behavioral perspective, this expert said the circumstances shown in the footage do not appear consistent with a robbery gone bad, noting that robberies often involve 2 or 3 people with defined roles. The FBI images released so far show one individual, and she emphasized that investigators have not publicly identified a motive or confirmed the role of the subject. Despite them wearing a mask, Constantine said the footage still reveals identifiable physical traits. Even with the mask on, we can still see his eyes, his body structure, his proportions, his gait, how he walks. And all of those things are identifiable. And things that if I was watching the news, I would be changing in a hurry. I'd start walking different. If I had a beard, I might shave. She described the subject as appearing physically fit and athletically built, with most likely brown eyes, tightly trimmed facial hair, and what she described as an olive-toned complexion. I don't know how she got all that from that camera. They must have much better pictures than they're showing us. FBI Director Kash Patel said today the search for Guthrie entered its 10th day. He said investigators recovered the footage using residual data from back-end systems after recording devices at the Guthrie's home were removed or rendered inaccessible. There's some cloud footage out there that the FBI can get to. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Over the last 8 days, the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department have been working closely with our private sector partners to recover any images or footage from the Guthrie's home that may have been lost, corrupted, or inaccessible. The video was recovered from a residual data located in the back-end systems. According to Patel, newly uncovered images showed an armed individual appearing to tamper with the camera at the Guthrie's front door on the morning of her disappearance. The body language expert said the moment captured on video would have been frightening. Can you imagine an 84-year-old woman having someone like that standing over her wearing a mask? She stressed that releasing footage publicly could be critical to generating new leads. Yeah, I guess. And also telling them that they're on to them. Someone's going to notice something. The clothing, the gloves, the backpack, those are linkable details that are now being burned in a trash can somewhere. They're gone. 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information. Doubtful you do out here, but if you do, 1-800-CALL-FBI. You can report that. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. So much more Chad Hasty Show to go. 806-682-790. I'd like to send a message. Steve Evans hanging out with you while Chad's on a little sabbatical. Back in a moment.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio. The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
When you see a car that's been in a bad crash, it's no accident. When it backs traffic up for miles, no accident. And if there's a fatality involved, somebody died. That's no accident either. A lot of the time, it was speeding. And it's no accident that speeding is a factor in more than 150,000 crashes every year in Texas. Many of them fatal. So slow down. Be safe. Drive smart. A message from TxDOT.
Local events, newsmakers, and information. It's Sunrise LBK on KFYO.
Coming up on Sunrise LBK on Wednesday.
Yeah, Larry Williams of Williams Brake Tune and Tire to answer questions about your automobile.
Yeah, 32 bays, 21 technicians, 311 19th Street. Hey, also, another prize bomb with the crown jewel, another pair of Dwight Yoakam tickets, so make sure you're listening. Sunrise LBK on KFYO. Coming up Wednesday morning.
When high winds and dangerous storms rock West Texas, stay ahead of the weather with the station you trust. Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO.
Hey, come on, take a ride. There's a party over there that ain't no job. It's live, it's all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. It's slide, look at this slide. Just forget about the
Hey, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. It's kind of a cool tune. 806-680-2790. If you'd like to send a message, love to hear from you. On February 10th, 1923, Governor Pat Neff signed a little bill, Senate Bill 103, commonly referred to as the school charter, to create a brand new college in West Texas to be named Texas Technological College. February 10th. The bill, it's weird. I got a copy of the bill. I don't have a copy of where they signed it, but I've got like a copy, and it looks like, I don't know if this is how Senate bills look back then, but it looks like it's a newspaper article. Maybe it was published in the newspaper, and this is just the way they wrote it. I'm not going to read the whole superfluous language in this 3-page bill, but I'm going to try to pull some excerpts out of it. But it starts an act to establish a state college in Texas west of the 98th meridian, north of the 29th parallel, to be known as Texas Technological College, providing for the location of such college, its government, the control of its finances, defining its leading objects, and prescribing generally to the nature and scope of instruction to be given, conferring upon the board of directors of said college the rights of eminent domain. I don't like eminent domain. Making the necessary appropriations for the purchase of land, the location, establishing the main tenants of said college, and declaring an emergency. And as you kind of work through the bill, it's kind of neat bill. If you're a ledge nerd, it's kind of neat. $150,000 of available revenues of the state, or so much thereof, may be necessary to become available by September 1st, 1923, for the purchase of the necessary lands for the location and establishment of said school. There's some more money allocated, $500,000 for the fiscal year ending. This was a lot of money in the 1920s. $500,000 for the fiscal year ending August 31st, 1924, for the purpose of providing necessary utilities, machinery, improvements, equipment, buildings. Another $300,000, and this is like the appropriation part of the bill, $350,000 for the fiscal year ending August 31st, 25, for the purpose of providing necessary more utilities and machinery. And I don't know if that's when they dug all the tunnels. Who knows? Maybe they put all the tunnels in everywhere and then started building the college. I don't know when the mechanical tunnels started. Let's see. In the event any portion of the sums hereby appropriated should not be used for and during the year for which they're hereby appropriated, such sums shall become available for the next year. It was their money once it was appropriated. The fact that Texas is producing annually, this was in 1923, mind you, in the last section here of the copy I have. I don't have the full copy of the sign. The fact that Texas is producing annually millions of dollars worth of raw materials which are being shipped to distant factories to be made into finished products, together with the fact that Texas has no adequate institution for teaching technology in the art of textile manufacturing. Think about why tech was created. And the fact that the needs of the portion of the state where this college shall be located are inadequately supplied with educational institutions create an emergency and an imperative public necessity for this act to take effect at once, and for the suspension of the constitutional rule requiring bills to be read on 3 several days. It is therefore enacted that that said rule be suspended, and this act take effect and be in force on and after its passage. It was an emergency. They couldn't wait. They had to get that done. They had to get it done while they had the votes, I imagine. Kind of cool. I looked at a timeline. So that was That bill was enacted on February 10th of 23, so happy birthday, Texas Tech. And then on November 11th of 24, we had the administration building cornerstone. You can find all this at the 100.ttu.edu website if you want to look at all the timeline. It's kind of neat. The administration cornerstone was laid on November 11th, 1924. Texas Technological College, it's a mouthful, Texas Tech, opened with 4 separate colleges. The School of Liberal Arts, which is interesting to me because School of Agriculture and Engineering should have been first. That was the whole reason. But they opened with liberal arts. School of Household Economics, later called Home Economics, School of Agriculture, and the School of Engineering in 1925. Let's see. Paul Whitfield Horn was the first president. In September, I'm tongue-tied today. I don't know what's going on with that. September 20th, 1925, Texas Tech officially opened its doors to students. The first-year classes held at Texas Tech were comprised of freshman and sophomore level students. And then October 3rd of 1925, the first football game took place at 4 p.m. at Texas Tech as the Matadors squared off against McMurray College. Final score was a tie. Tech 0, McMurray College 0 was the final score. And a few more dates to get to. We'll take a quick check on news and weather, and I'll be right back with more Chad Hasty Show. Don't go anywhere.
The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays 5 to 7 p.m. Sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss out on any of it. That's why the first thing you do when you get in a car is buckle your seatbelt. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, not wearing your seatbelt could get you a ticket, a fine, or worse. Nobody wants that. So remember, if you love it, click it. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
Nick, this is your phone here in the passenger seat. Look at me.
No, I'm driving.
You got a text. It says, "Yo, dude, your friends are fascinating. Let's text them back."
It can wait.
Sports app. Oh, you gotta see this play.
Later.
Hey, you got invited to a party. We need a RSVP now.
Phone, silence yourself.
Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Talk, text, crash. A message from TxDOT.
TSN headlines. Walkouts continue at schools across Texas to protest ICE actions. A walkout today at a Dallas high school halted when teachers and staff stood by the exits to keep students from leaving the building. Governor Abbott and the TA have put out warnings saying walkouts could cost district state funds and teachers assisting could lose teaching credentials. Texas Attorney General's office investigating a company that has purchased land in Kaufman County. They're called C Holding. They're based in Dubai. Ken Paxton says he's not going to allow a Sharia city in Texas. The company's website says it develops sustainable communities focused on having net zero emissions of greenhouse gases. The Texas Medical Board has launched a mandatory new training course to help doctors better understand when abortion is actually legally allowed. The 43-slide online course based on Senate Bill 31, the Life of the Mother Act, is authored by State Senator Brian Hughes. With your Texas News headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Believe in a world of wellness, knowing Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas is lighting the way for your health and wellness journey. Always helping you write your own story and keeping you at the center of everything they do. Through it all.
Need compact track loaders or excavators? ASCO has the equipment and support you need with decades of experience and the full Case Construction lineup. Stop by ASCO today or visit ASCOEQ.com to learn more. ASCO and Case Construction, built to work, built to last.
Digging without contacting Texas 811 first could cost more than you think. Texas 811 is a free service that helps you avoid damaging underground utilities like electric or gas lines. Every year, accidents happen because someone didn't take a moment to contact 811. Whether installing a fence or working on a construction site, contacting Texas 811 is the law. It's quick, free, and keeps you safe. Visit texas811.org today for more information. Safe digging starts with one simple step. Make it today.
Chances continue this evening at 40% chances. Temperatures are dropping into the lower 40s. And on Wednesday, temperatures in the mid-60s. Meteorologists run over to Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Financial news on KFYO.
Dan Loney with your money now. Wall Street with mixed results today. Dow Industrials up 52 points, ending the session at another record close, 50,188. NASDAQ lost 136 points. The S&P 500 was off 23. Wednesday, we'll see the delayed jobs report from last week. It'll be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The White House is already tempering expectations on that number. Trading volume on Kalshi was over $1 billion on Super Bowl Sunday, and that's up 2,700% from 1 year earlier for the prediction market platform. Even the halftime show with Bad Bunny had contracts, including over $100 million on what the first song of the halftime show would be. CVS Health reported fourth quarter earnings and revenue that beat estimates and reaffirmed this year's profit guidance that previously impressed investors. CVS sees full year profit coming between $7 and $7.20 per share and maintained its revenue guidance of at least $400 billion. That's your money now.
Build your team, build it sooner. Leave your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Leave your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Buck Sexton here to remind you to come hang with me and Clay Travis weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO. You'll laugh, you'll learn, you'll never be alone.
Ah, the Internet, a place where your curiosity can flourish, unless online threats stop you. The Internet is wonderful, but you need to protect yourself online. Protect yourself online with NordVPN. NordVPN encrypts your browsing. Its Threat Protection Pro feature helps you block malware, avoid phishing, and stop digital trackers. Get the best deal at NordVPN.com.
Empowering West Texas with news that matters. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM, KFYO.
Don't forget about Chad. Find Chad on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on X and Instagram. It's the Chad Hasty Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, 806-680-2790. Send a message via that text line. We got a drive-by heckler that says, did you say emergency? I did say emergency. The bill... Isn't that weird? It created an emergency because we had a lot of textiles and agricultural needs, and we didn't have a school to teach people what to do with them. It seems weird to declare an emergency for something that's going to take a while. I don't know. Just what they did. They declared an emergency, fast-tracked the bill, appropriated the money real quick. Really kind of interesting. Let's see. Hollywood jumps in. Let's see. Hey, Chad. It's not Chad today, Hollywood. Are you even paying attention? I don't think Hollywood's listening. I think he's just drunk texting or something. Sober up, Hollywood. Steve's on today. That gun in the Guthrie video is the best thing to find. Okay, we're going to need more. We're going to need more out of Hollywood. Back looking at my Texas Tech timeline. Again, you can find all this at 100.ttu.edu. Kind of neat. Also, so we had our first football game. It was 0-0. And then, of course, the first issue of the Matador. Matadors hold the Indians 0-0. Tie. And Tech sets a record with big enrollment. Well, I mean, when they're a new university every year is probably going to be a new record with big enrollment. In 26, they received accreditation from the Association of Texas Colleges, the Texas Education, and the Texas Education Agency, formerly the State Department of Educations, plural. In January 9th, this comes cool pictures here too, January 9th to 26th, the first Letterman sweaters, Coach Friedland presented the first sweaters during the convocation in the Livestock Pavilion. The sweaters were scarlet with 2 black outlined tees. Kind of neat. If you could find one of these, it might be worth a little bit. October 30th, the Going Band makes a historic road trip. Let's see, one of the first bands in the nation to travel to an away game. And when you look at the pictures, they're not very big. they're a pretty small band. The band was in Fort Worth for Texas Tech's loss to the TCU Horned Frogs, and their trip was paid for by Will Rogers and Ammon Carter. On May 30th of 1927, the first commencement exercises held. Their first commencement, because, you know, they started with just freshmen, sophomores and freshmen. They didn't have a junior-senior class. So in 1927, the first commencement ceremony took place in the college gymnasium. Let's see, Marydale Buckner became the first Texas Tech student to receive a diploma after winning the drawing for which student would get the honor to walk first. Let's see, I can count them. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, about 22 students or so. No, 26. They must not all made the picture. 26 students walked the first time. Let's see, in 28, some more accreditations. The first master's degrees were awarded in 1928. In 32, we had the first homecoming parade. The first law classes were organized on June 13th of 1933. Students met to organize the first law class in Texas Tech. The names of the first students and how the class was set up, you can find that in the June 15th issue of the Torador under the headline, Texas Tech Lawyers form, it's really catchy here, form first law class on campus. Members to prepare for bar examinations. Which is kind of interesting to me because there's a period where you did not have to be a law student up until, I don't know, it was like in the mid-70s. I think it was 76, somewhere around there. So maybe you had to be at first, and then they took the requirement away, and then in the 70s they brought it back where you actually had to have a law degree to take the bar. But there for a while, period of time in Texas history, you could read the law and go take the bar. Let's see. Then in 1934, the Varsity Bookstore opened. It's kind of neat. There is not much. They got a Coca-Cola sign hanging out front at 1305 College Avenue. W.B. Dub Rushing, a graduate, opened the Varsity Bookstore. In 1934, October 1st of 1934, the first dorms opened. West Hall and the first women's dormitory, Doak Hall, opened. And, man, the picture, it was a classy-looking place. Decorated, not the typical college dorm scene you have now. In 36, a graduate school was formed. The Board of Regents approved President Knapp's suggestion that a division of graduate study be created with the chairman of the graduate committee designated as the chairman of the graduate study. Let's see. Texas Tech begins the Arbor Day tradition in 1938. And let's fast forward through a few of these. School of Business in 1942, Texas Tech Day 1940, additional accreditation in 45 by the American Association of University Women. The football stadium was dedicated on November 29th of 1947. Pictures are really neat. I encourage you to go to the website and take a look at all of it. Let's see. It was dedicated during the halftime of Texas Tech versus Hardin-Simmons game. And let's see. First PhD programs in 1950. Also in 1950, we began drawing students from around the world, from 38 different states and 17 foreign countries. The museum was dedicated in 1950. Also in 1950, LBJ came to the campus. He was the guest speaker at the dedication ceremony for the Texas Tech's $4 million building program. Let's see. Sun Bowl game. The school song, officially designated as the Matador Song, was adopted in 1952. The first masked rider. We should have been doing trivia questions for these. First masked rider in 1954. Let's see. National publicity. Let me scroll on down. See if I can find something here before we go to break. And it just kind of stops because there's nothing interesting happened in the last 20 years. But anyway, I'll end it there. That's on a good note. So, happy birthday, Texas Tech. Again, you can go to 100.ttu.edu and look at the timeline and a lot of great pictures. I'm sure somewhere on campus you've got all of these archives. Probably pretty neat to know where they're all at. The first copy of the Matador, hopefully there's a copy there at the campus somewhere. If anybody knows, give me a text, 806-6802-790. I'm sure there's probably a signed copy of the Senate Bill 103 that created Texas Tech floating around somewhere. Who knows? It'll be in the archives in Austin, but they may have a copy of it. Or maybe the governor signed multiple copies at the time. Will be around there somewhere. But anyway, interesting timeline in archives. But again, happy birthday, Texas Tech. Nick, we'll take the break. Fire that off. There we go. More Chad Hasty Show to come. Stick around.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Securing America.
Fox News was there exclusively in the middle of the night as FBI agents walked a frail Zubair al-Bakush down the stairs into a waiting ambulance. Authorities say he's one of the men behind the September 11th, 2012 attack on the U.S. diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya. The brazen attack killed 4 Americans, including Ambassador Christopher Stevens. In addition to Stevens, U.S. government personnel Tyrone Woods, Glenn Doherty, and Sean Smith were also killed. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro.
I spoke with Sean Smith's mother, who I've known for years and have communicated with for years. I spoke with Tyrone Woods' widow, Dr. Dorothy Woods. I spoke with Ambassador Chris Stevens' family, as well as Glenn Doherty's brother, Greg.
If convicted, al-Bakush could face the death penalty. In Washington, David Spunt, Fox News.
As you get ready in the morning and as you drive home from work, stay informed with the latest news from lawmakers across Texas and the rest of the country with Fox News every day right here on News Talk KFYO.
Hey, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. 806-6802-790. Like to send a message. Love to hear from you. Let's see. We've got the Lubbock Lions Club's 74th annual Pancake Festival coming up on Valentine's Day. What a place to take your Valentine. Nothing says I love you like stuffing your significant other's face full of pancakes. It is absolutely the very best date you could have. It's a pancake festival on Valentine's Day. Let's do this. It's Saturday, 7 to 7, all day long. I got a 4-pack of tickets for you. 1-800-687-0790. Caller number 1. Yeah, the very first caller. Yeah, we're just getting it over quick, Nick. Very first caller to call in, pick you up a 4-pack of tickets to the 74th Annual Pancake Festival on Valentine's Day. Take your lady out to breakfast, lunch, or dinner, however you want, however you do it. 1-800-687-0790. You get that 4-pack of tickets. All right, let's see. What do we want to do now? I don't know. I'm just at a loss. It's all yours for the next segment, Nick. We're not doing that. I got to answer the phone. I had an article I can't find anymore. I'm going to have to try to dig it up during the break. I was going to look at it. It had an interesting kind of list of some of the things that are going to impact us, the tax code things that are going to impact your tax return. But I'll find it. It'll be there. I did get a breaking news pop-up here about 10 minutes ago. The FBI is swarming the Guthrie's neighborhood with a big SWAT rollout from the sheriff's department. Is the person still there 10 days later? Why are we flooding the Guthrie's neighborhood? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Bomb squad deployed, everything. So maybe she's in the basement. Maybe she's in the basement the whole time. I don't know. It's kind of creepy. There's more to this. I'm telling you. There's some reason this is so high profile. I don't know. My goodness. Let's see. We can do that one. This is kind of interesting. I don't have time to do this. Dan Patrick was chaired a Trump Religious Liberty Commission, and now is facing a lawsuit alleging a lack of diversity. Now, did it say Trump Religious Diversity Commission? No, it said Trump Religious Liberty Commission. I mean, now they're being sued. Why they're being sued is kind of silly. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick chaired the commission. He's facing a legal challenge from a handful of interfaith plaintiffs for its supposed lack of religious and ideological diversity in its membership. And I haven't read the executive order that created it, but Trump created this commission, and the goal was to safeguard and promote America's founding principle in religious freedom. Now, I've got the executive order, but it's going to take me a little bit to read it. I may try to do that at the break to see if there's anything interesting. And really, it would be its exact composition, because that's what they're being sued for. Key planks are determining threats and responses relating to defending parental rights in religious education, school choice, conscious protections, as well as houses of worship, free speech for religious entities, and institutional autonomy. The lawsuit addressing the composition of the committee's membership was filed yesterday, the day of the commission's fifth hearing, which is focused on the rise of anti-Semitism in the U.S. The suit brought forth by the Interfaith Alliance, the Baptist Reverend Paul Rosenbusch, Muslims for Progressive Values, the Sikh American Legal Defense and Education Fund, and Hindus for Human Rights all brought this lawsuit. Defendants include the President, the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice, the Commission itself, because they did it, they appointed it, and the federal officer of the Commission, Mary Margaret Bush. The suit alleges that the Commission is in violation of the Federal Advisory Committee Act of 1972, which provides guardrails for such committees. And I'm going to get to the point here in a minute because you're just going to, it's going to seem real stupid to you. For such committees established through the executive branch, including that they must be reasonably balanced in their points of view. According to the documents, the plaintiffs believe that the body meant to advise on religious liberty and celebrate religious pluralism in this country cannot be fairly balanced within the meaning of the act when all but one of its members represent Christian denominations. They're all Judeo-Christians. Oh, my goodness. Hollywood, you're just repeating yourself, looks like. I don't think I have anything new. Now I'm getting pictures. Okay. I will not be able to represent or reflect concerns, real-world understanding, and history of American diverse array of religious minorities or interfaith. It will not be able to, or interfaith organizations like plaintiffs, they added. The suit filed in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York. Yeah, that's where they filed it. When they file it out here, where Dan Patrick's from, if he's chairing it, states that the plaintiffs are seeking declaratory and injunctive relief through a declaration that the commission is in violation of the act not being fairly balanced, joining defendants to include disclaimers noting such an order on any reports produced by the committee. Additionally, the interfaith groups requested immediate disclosure of all materials prepared for him by the commission. Immediately. Within court documents, the people sue for anything, argue that when this is about DEI, oh my goodness, we have to have diversity. We have to make sure that we mess up any narrative or positive thing that might be created, any positive speech, by watering it down and making sure that all of these, that every faith is represented. How do you do that? Let's see, immediate disclosure. Within court documents, they argue that despite the executive order tasking the commission with protecting religious liberty for all Americans and celebrating America's peaceful religious pluralism, Defendant Trump, President, how about you, has issued several statements making it clear that the commission is in actuality concerned solely with the administration terms Judeo-Christian issues. I'll just create it that way. They further describe the commission is largely homogenous group without diversity or perspectives. Instead, its members consisting of almost exclusively Christians, with one Orthodox Jew rabbi, represent the narrow perspective that America was founded as a Judeo-Christian nation and must be guided by biblical principles. Members of the commission include Dan Patrick, Vice Chair Ben Carson, President of Ethics and Public Policy Center Ryan Anderson, a Catholic bishop, former Miss California, Catholic cardinal, another pastor, Franklin Graham, a Rabbi Slovichik, Pastor Paula White, an author, and some lawyers. That's pretty balanced to me. These things are important. We need to keep an eye on what happens. This is probably going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Watch. We'll see. Time for news and weather. That'll wrap up the first hour. We'll be back with more Chad Hasty Show. I'm Steve Evans right here on the Texas Town Square Media Network. See you in a couple minutes.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station, staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.
KFYO is your connection to West Texas. Local voices, local issues, and a commitment to our community. We're not just reporting the news, we're a part of it. Streaming online at KFYO.com or on the KFYO app. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
Eat, drink, smoke with Tony Katz. We're in the cigar buying business.
Yes, and I think we should continue to be in the cigar buying business.
That's not going to stop me from putting out a cigar. But I'm just talking about it as a site, as like a. I don't think I'm in the cigar selling business.
Unless that site, I got a great name for it, eBay.
You're an idiot. Eat, drink, smoke with Tony Katz. Saturday evenings at 5 on KFYO.
Take KFYO wherever you go with the KFYO app. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO Lubbock.
It's 6 o'clock in Texas.
A break in the case Yes, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A new clue in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie in the form of a video doorbell footage.
FBI Director Kash Patel announcing that just this morning, with the help of what he called partners, they were able to access, quote, residual data located in back-end systems to find video of someone at Nancy Guthrie's front door in the early hours of Sunday, February 1st, when the 84-year-old disappeared. The person was wearing gloves and a ski mask and carrying what appears to be a gun in a holster and a backpack. The video and freeze-frame pictures obviously provide the FBI with a treasure trove of evidence, but they don't offer clues to Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts right now.
Fox's Jonathan Hunt in Tucson. Local officers and the FBI knocking on doors in the neighborhood where Nancy Guthrie's daughter Annie lives, and police have returned to Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood. Negotiations continue in Congress to meet a Friday deadline to fund the Department of Homeland Security, with Senate Majority Leader John Thune saying there have been good faith efforts by Democrats and the White House that would also reform immigration enforcement. President Trump sticking by his Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick amid questions about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Lutnick is facing questions from Congress about his relationship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein after files released by the Justice Department revealed the two met after Epstein's 2008 conviction.
Probably about 10 emails connecting me with him over a 14-year period.
Lutnick told a Senate panel he traveled to Epstein's private island in 2012 with his family for lunch during a sailing vacation.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Drug company Moderna says the FDA is refusing to consider its application for a new flu vaccine made with mRNA technology. America's listening to Fox News.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Wednesday, on This Morning, America's First News, the welfare program called Temporary Assistance for Needy Families is under fire for lack of oversight from state governments. Hear a new report. Also, if you're interested in leaving your white-collar job for the stability of a trade job, how do you make the switch mid-career? We'll have examples. And the smart way to negotiate the trade-in value of your car. Wednesday, on This Morning, America's First News.
Weekday mornings at 5 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Lubbock South Plains weather forecast on this Tuesday evening as clouds and showers across the South Plains are increasing. Temperatures will be dropping in the lower 40s, a 40% chance for rain through midnight, a 40% chance for rain through noon tomorrow, as temperatures by tomorrow afternoon in the mid-60s. The weather is brought to you by Sonic All-American Smashers. I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, news and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Wait a minute. Chad Hasty's out. It's Steve Evans.
Monday warrior, mean stride. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Hey, welcome back to hour 2, hour 3, hour 4, hour 2 of the Chad Hasty Show. I almost said hour 3. I don't do any 3-hour shows. Hour 3, I don't know what. Welcome back. 806-680-2790. Would like to send a message. Love to hear from you. Hollywood's just going crazy. I don't even know what he's talking about at this point. He's probably drunk. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Is Hollywood a drinker? I don't know. We might need to get him some help. Someone go check on Hollywood. Sit him back up on the bar stool. I did, during the break, take a quick look at this executive order. And so it does have, and I just scrolled past it all, commission shall be comprised. This is the part that they're arguing about, and it's straightforward to me. Shall be composed of 14 members appointed by the president. They shall include individuals chosen to serve as educated representatives of various sectors of society. Okay, they check all the boxes there. Including private sector. Check the boxes there. Employers, educational institutions, religious communities, and states to offer diverse perspectives on how the federal government can defend religious liberty for all Americans. The president shall designate a chairman, vice chairman. He has from among the members. The commission shall also include the following ex officio members or such senior officials as those members may designate: Attorney General, the Secretary of HUD, the Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy. 1-year terms on those. Let's see. Members shall be eligible for reappointment to a 2-year term, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay. They'll produce a report on the foundations of religious liberty in America. So they're just putting together a report. So the 14 members, you're going to get a representative of every single multitude of religions out there? I don't think so. I don't think so. New Guthrie video, you fool. Hollywood's calling me out now. I know. I can't do it. I can't watch the videos and keep up with you on the text line, Hollywood, and be on the air and all that stuff. Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow, but I do have multiple media sources streaming on screens all around me. Keep an eye on it. And curling is going on the Olympics, Hollywood. I mean, it's exciting. Can't miss that. So I'm watching the Olympics too while we're broadcasting, you know. Lots going on over here. Southwest Studio is hopping. It's busy. A drive-by said, wanted to know if I listened to Glenn Beck when he mentioned that Sharia law is taking over parts of Texas, apparently 40 miles in the state. Okay. Linda, yes and no. That there is a big social media debate going back and forth that there were 48 mosques open over the past 2 years, around one a month, or 2 a month. So 48 open. There's, of course, the Muslim community argues there's only 313,000 Muslims in the state. That's not enough, but for 48 mosques. But you can open up some maps and kind of go around the DFW area, and you will find a plethora of mosques there. There's a lot. So, I mean, if it's not exactly there's a bunch. And there is a tremendous amount of talk amongst the Republican Party. And, of course, Governor Abbott designated the Muslim Brotherhood back in November as a terrorist organization, demanding Attorney General, Office of the Attorney General, go after. Let's see, I've got several articles here. I just pulled a bunch together, stuff I had kind of packed away in a folder on this topic. But you remember the Attorney General went after. This was just in December. The Epic, it's the East Plano Islamic Center. That's a housing project. There's suits to stop that. Epic City. 1,000 residential units, a mosque, schools, shops are setting up a whole area protected by Sharia law. There's a lot. I mean, this is a pretty diverse subject to get into. So yeah, I did see it, and I wasn't really prepped for that today. And I mean, we can dig up a little bit more on it, and maybe get to that tomorrow. But it is an interesting discussion. And there's going to be a bunch of lawsuits come out. But I'm sure that there's probably some in the Muslim community from the state of Texas in that area that want to be on this diversity committee, that they're now suing for DEI. And they're suing the lieutenant governor, and that's why they're not suing in this state, because we laugh at them. We get rid of DEI in government entities. But I did see it, so yeah, thanks for the call. Let's see. I did find what I was looking for, the changes to your 2025 taxes. It's not a big list. It'll take forever to go through. I'll run through it real quick. Let's see. Deadline to file quickly approaching. It's not either. You have a little time, not quickly approaching. The administration made a lot of changes under the big, beautiful bill, which could mean lower tax bill, higher refund for filers. CPA and an expert at TurboTax, Lisa Green is hyphenated here. Lisa Green Lewis, don't make it difficult on me. Said the biggest changes you might see this year. First, a higher standard deduction, meaning more of your money is shielded from federal taxes. For single filers, it increased, it went up, it didn't go up a lot, but it went up $750 from $15,000 to $15,750. $30,000 was the standard deduction for married couples, up to $31,500. So a little bit bigger standard deduction. Higher state and local tax deduction, commonly known as SALT. It allows you to deduct your state and local income taxes, which we don't have a state tax here in Texas, or your state and local general sales tax. The cap jumps to $40,000 from $10,000 for married couples. You may also be able to deduct your property taxes if your income or sales tax do not put you over the $40,000 cap. They probably have that little thing where you can calculate the standard sales tax deduction. Let's see. And of course, I'm not giving you any tax advice here. Go talk to your professional. And put the caveat. Steve said I could. No, I didn't. I'm telling you, I'm reading you a news article here. I am not a tax professional. Don't claim to be. Not going down that road. Just telling you what you can expect when you go talk to a professional. There is a larger tax credit for children. Parents can receive $2,200 per child. Must be under 17 at the end of the tax year, among other requirements. If you work in an industry where you earn tips or overtime, also some changes. Eligible workers can deduct up to $25,000 in tipped income. So remember, you get to keep all your tips is not exactly true. We knew that was going to happen. Not exactly true. You can deduct up to $25,000 in tipped income. This is why I always just encourage people to tip in cash. When you tip with your credit card, that is automatically reported. Now, I'm not suggesting anybody not report their tips to the IRS. Oh, no. I'm just suggesting that you tip in cash and allow that individual to do whatever it is they're going to do. Gives them a few options. Now, you do have waiters and waitresses out there that get a wait staff wage. Let me call them wait staff. That's easier. It's less easier to roll off the tongue. A wait staff wage that can be less than minimum wage, and they have to make tips to equal minimum wage. And if they don't, then the employer is required to level their pay up to minimum wage. So some of those credit card tips and some of that reportable income and some of those things get them up to that minimum wage. But if you tip cash again, and they make 70% cash and 30% credit card tips, then they have a few options they can do to help try to keep a little bit more of that money in their pocket. So this is one of the few reasons that I carry cash, is just simply to tip in cash. And I've tipped in cash before and then have had the waiter come back and argue with me that I didn't leave a credit card tip. I'm like, but there is cash right here. But you didn't leave a credit. You're not tipping me. There is cash right here. It's better than that. That's why I put a 0. Don't take it personal. Couldn't get that through his head. Bless his heart. Let's see. Last year, the average refund was $3,116, according to the IRS. With the new changes, some filers can expect an even higher refund. These are kind of blanket statements. We're expecting filers to see a $1,000 increase in the refund or a lower balance due, the CPA said. Of course, the deadline to file is April 15th. None of that is guaranteed. That is all going to depend on your specific situation. So again, use a professional. There's all kinds out there. There's TurboTax. There's H&R Block. There's more complicated deals. Go get you a CPA. Do not take my word for it. Again, not a tax professional. We'll take a quick break. Back with more Chad Hasty Show in a moment.
Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Heads up, Texas.
So you don't hit my car when I'm sitting at a stoplight.
Heads up, Texas.
So I can ride my bike safely.
Heads up, Texas.
So I can make it across the street without getting run over.
Heads up, Texas.
So I don't have to write you a ticket.
Heads up, Texas. Because driving and using your phone is a bad combination. Talk, text, crash. Brought to you by TxDOT.
Wake up with local news, weather, and your opinions. Sunrise LBK, weekday mornings from 6 to 8:30. News Talk, 95.1 and 790. KFYO.
Hey, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, 806-680-2790. Send a message. Love to hear from you. I love it when Democrats lose their mind. This is so funny. They're losing it over ICE. I'm not overly happy with everything about ICE at the moment. I mean, some of the things that have happened have just really bothered me. There are better ways. But this is what they're dealing with. So, Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver, not MacGyver, not McIver, not as cool as MacGyver. She didn't have like a Swiss Army knife in her pocket. She's currently facing charges related to interfering with ICE officers at a detention facility, facing strong pushback online over her line of questioning of the acting director, Todd Lyons, ICE acting director, in a hearing today. How do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands? She asked Lyons during a hearing in which Democrats lashed out on multiple occasions. I'm going to go back and watch the hearing. I didn't get to see the hearing. I bet it was great. And President Donald Trump multiple occasions against ICE and the president's immigration agenda in general, while highlighting the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, both killed by federal immigration agents during altercations in Minneapolis in recent weeks. Lyons responded, "I'm not going to entertain that question." "Of course not," she fired back. "Do you think you're going to go to hell?" The House Committee on Homeland Security Chairman Andrew Garbarino, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't care what he thinks if I'm not, interjected and reminded members of the standards of decorum, prompting McIver to respond by saying, "Mr. Chairman, I'm just asking a question. You guys are always talking about religion in the Bible." You guys. So she's not. Fox News congressional correspondent Bill Malungan posted on X that audible groans could be heard in the room over her questions. The exchange quickly went viral on social media, where conservatives took issue with her comments. House Republicans, in a post on X, called the situation a total meltdown from McIver. So you want to go watch it now, don't you? Why the hell has she not been kicked off her committees? Conservative commentator Nick Sorter posted on X. The Trump War Room account called McIver deranged in a post on X, adding, "What a freak." Classy coming from the War Room account. This exchange is a low point in congressional history. America First New Jersey Chairman Mike Crispy posted on X. Let's see. "This woman is completely bonkers, even for a Democrat," conservative commentator Dave Rubin. "Isn't this a lady who's charged with assaulting federal agents? These people are vile." A lot of posts here. Let's see. ICE derangement syndrome is now a real thing in today's today's Democrat Party. Senator Jim Banks posted on X. McIver representing Jersey's 10th congressional district, facing a 3-count federal indictment stemming from a May 9th incident at Delaney Hall Immigration Detention Facility in Newark. Oh my goodness, I love it. I'm going to go watch this committee hearing now. I didn't know about it till I saw the story post, and still, like, I can't even pull up an article now without more Nancy Guthrie breaking news, continuing coverage. Come on. And this is not just Fox; it's all over the media spectrum, which bothers me. What else is happening right now while we're busy watching what's going on with Nancy Guthrie? What else are they doing? I just turned it up. It was too quiet. Just knocked a producer out of his seat. Yeah, I just turned it up. It seemed like it was really weak all of a sudden. I don't know. Cranked it up. There we go. Sounds better now. Blew his hair back and all. So I've done that twice today. It's awesome. What else is happening? The smoke and mirrors. It just seems, again. Yeah, I got sidetracked on this. I was talking about deranged Democrats. But this may be, it may be all, here comes to put the tinfoil hat on, it may be all related. We're busy keeping us occupied with what's going on with one person. And again, it's hard to talk about it this way because it's horrible. But we could spend the entire show every day if we wanted to highlight every individual and every tragedy facing a family. But they're keeping us occupied with it. So it always bothers me because it seems like there's something else going on. There's like a military strike going on right now, or somebody's getting bombed, or something's going on while we're busy. What if she is sitting in a hotel room somewhere being taken very good care of, and this is all just, it's not. But what if, since we've got our tinfoil hat, what if this is all smoke and mirrors? We're going to keep you occupied with this. I hope they find her, and I hope she's okay. It does seem like it is a ransom type. I mean, it's enough the FBI is involved. A ransom type kidnapping. Maybe the deranged Democrats are part of it. They're keeping the smoke and mirrors. I don't know, but they're melting down. It's really funny. LaMonica McIver. So I'm going to pull that committee hearing up again. It's the, let's see, it's the Homeland Security Committee. I got to go back and look now. I'll find it. It's here somewhere. You can go watch. I think they record all that. I think they post it online. We'll find it for you. See more Democrats melting down over this. And, listen, the Renee Good thing, it played out probably the only way it was going to. The Alex Pretty thing, a lot of that bothers me. Yeah, the guy went after ICE in a previous encounter, broke a taillight off of a car, but the whole thing, and I'm very concerned that seeing multiple views and multiple different videos, and some of them don't even look like they don't corroborate the story. It almost makes me wonder if some of that stuff has been massaged over with AI. As you see some images where it looks like the gun was removed from his waistband, somewhere it looks like it's still there. I don't know. It's, I don't know. More on that. We're going to take a quick break. News and weather. Back with more Chad Hasty Show.
Call in to the Chad Hasty Show at 1-800-687-0790. The Chad Hasty Show, broadcasting on the Texas Town Square Media Network.
When you see a car that's been in a bad crash, it's no accident. When it backs traffic up for miles, no accident. And if there's a fatality involved, somebody died. That's no accident either. A lot of the time, it was speeding. And it's no accident that speeding is a factor in more than 150,000 crashes every year in Texas, many of them fatal. So slow down, be safe, drive smart. A message from TxDOT.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss out on any of it. That's why the first thing you do when you get in a car is buckle your seatbelt. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, not wearing your seatbelt could get you a ticket, a fine, or worse. Nobody wants that. So remember, if you love it, click it. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
TSN headlines: walkouts continue at schools across Texas to protest ICE. A walkout today at a Dallas high school halted when teachers and staff stood by the exits to keep students from leaving. The governor and the Texas Education Agency have put out warnings saying walkouts could cost district state funds and teachers assisting could lose teacher credentials. The shootings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by federal agents have prompted the creation of a coalition to ensure federal officials are held accountable when they exceed their lawful authority. It's called the Fight Against Federal Overreach. Dallas County District Attorney John Creuzot partnering with prosecutors nationwide to try and file state charges against federal officials. The Texas Medical Board launching a mandatory new training course to help doctors better understand when abortion is legally allowed. The 43-slide online course based on Senate Bill 31, the Life of the Mother Act, authored by State Senator Brian Hughes. With your Texas news headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Former lobbyist Sid Miller is flying high, and Texans are paying the price. As Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller spends our money traveling the globe with 48 taxpayer-funded overseas trips planned this year alone. And while Sid Miller travels the world on our dime, foreign adversaries like China and the Muslim Brotherhood are buying up Texas farmland from right under our feet. It's why Governor Abbott called Miller an utter failure. But thankfully, we have a choice. Abbott endorsed Nate Sheets as running for Ag Commissioner to put farmers first. Nate Sheets is a proud veteran and Christian who built America's #1 honey company from a single beehive in his backyard. As Ag Commissioner, Nate will fight to improve the bottom line for farmers and ranchers and help Trump stop foreign enemies from buying up our land. Governor Abbott, Texas Farm Bureau, and the Texas Cattle Raisers stand with Nate Sheets. Vote conservative Republican Nate Sheets for Ag Commissioner.
I'm Nate Sheets, and I approve this message. Political ad paid for by Nate Sheets Campaign.
Lubbock South Plains weather forecast on this Tuesday evening as clouds and showers across the South Plains are increasing. Temperatures will be dropping in lower 40s, a 40% chance for rain through midnight, a 40% chance for rain through noon tomorrow, as temperatures by tomorrow afternoon in the mid-60s. The weather is brought to you by Sonic All-American Smashers. I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Tonight at midnight on KFYO.
Securing America.
Fox News was there exclusively in the middle of the night as FBI agents walked a frail Zubair al-Bakush down the stairs into a waiting ambulance. Authorities say he's one of the men behind the September 11th, 2012 attack on the U.S. diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya. The brazen attack killed 4 Americans, including Ambassador Christopher Stevens. In addition to Stevens, U.S. government personnel Tyrone Woods, Glenn Doherty, and Sean Smith were also killed. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro.
I spoke with Sean Smith's mother, who I've known for years and have communicated with for years. I spoke with Tyrone Woods' widow, Dr. Dorothy Woods. I spoke with Ambassador Chris Stevens' family, as well as Glenn Doherty's brother, Greg.
If convicted, al-Bakush could face the death penalty. In Washington, David Spunt, Fox News.
The news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
From the Panhandle to the South Plains to the Big Country, it's the Chad Hasty Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, 806-680. Yeah, I turned it up. See, that's blow them out of their seat. Number 3. Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, 806-680-2790. If you'd like to send a message, Steve Evans hanging out with you this evening on this just an awesome mic this evening. Awesome system. So great, it's just blowing Nick right out of his chair. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Attorney General Ken Paxton and the Department of Justice announced a $68 million settlement with Colony Ridge developers. It's kind of an ongoing thing. We've had various different stories about this, but the article here kind of gives you a little bit of the gist of what's going on at Colony Ridge. I've known about this for a couple of years now, just because I've got a lot of friends in Harris County that were keeping their eye on this. Ken Paxton working with the President's Department of Justice. It's our Department of Justice, not President Trump's Department of Justice. The President doesn't own the Department of Justice. It's the People's Department of Justice. Announced a $68 million settlement against the developers of Colony Ridge. The settlement addressed a 2023 federal lawsuit brought by the Department of Justice and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and a 24 lawsuit filed by the Texas Office of the Attorney General in federal court, both alleging deceptive lending and marketing practices. I start talking about campaign text, and man, in the last 30 minutes, they are just going crazy. If you talk about it, like you talk about a product and all this on shows it to you, or Facebook starts showing you products that you talked about because it's listening to you, does that, you talk about campaign text, does that make them send you more? That's what I think's happening here. Oh, yeah, Steve's actually getting them. We're going to send him some more. Back to this article, deceptive lending and marketing practices, intentionally targeting vulnerable borrowers with the American dream of home ownership, and then trapping them in a predatory scheme is not only wrong, it also violates our civil rights. The Assistant Attorney General, that was Hamid Dillon of the Justice Department Civil Rights Division, said in a press release today, Colony Ridge is an expanding development north of Houston in Liberty County that has advertised owner-financed loans without requiring credit checks or proof of legal residency. Now, I have been told, at the risk of getting sued here, I have been told that the way some of this is working is they go to illegals and say, "Hey, we're gonna tote the note here on this house for you and get you a place to live," and then they're unable to make a payment, or they slide just a little bit, and they go foreclose on them immediately. And what are they going to do? They're illegal. Don't have a choice. Can't go fight it in the court system. And not only is this supporting illegal immigration, because there's no proof of legal residency required for this. They're not doing credit checks. They're just a handshake deal at this point. They don't have any recourse. So it's not only promoting illegal immigration, but it's taking advantage of the situation, which is horrible for them too. The development is also known as Terra Neos Houston, is run by brothers Trey and John Harris. It has existed for more than a decade, estimated to have more than 50,000 residents, half the population of Liberty County itself. In a press release today, Paxton described the development as a de facto illegal immigrant community. The DLJ will go after all lenders, financiers, and land developers. Gosh, I hope nobody I know is, none of my friends are involved in this. I know a few developers who participate in the schemes which ultimately encourage illegal immigration. At least $20 million of the $68 million settlement will be allocated to law enforcement, including funds to build a law enforcement center in the area. Some law enforcement funding can be used to establish 287 agreements, which allow local or state agencies to partner with U.S. Immigration and ICE on immigration enforcement. Additionally, the developers will be forced to pay tens of millions for the improvement of infrastructure such as roads to create legitimate and livable community suitable for U.S. citizens, not an underdeveloped slum designed for black market sales to illegals. This is what is happening out there. The settlement also freezes the sale of any new plots of land for the next 3 years, restricts purchases by individuals from countries such as China and China. I got to do the Donald Trump. Countries such as China. It's about the only Donald Trump impersonation I can do. From China and Iran, and requires stricter underwriting processes and identification requirements to ensure Colony Ridge never again is a haven for illegals. Colony Ridge made headlines in recent years for illegal immigration and criminal activity. In February, ICE announced February 25, a year ago, ICE announced 118 arrests in a multi-agency raid involving alleged offenses ranging from homicide to drug trafficking. ICE are targeting criminals and illegal immigrants. I have worked with Border Czar Tom Homan on this for months, Governor Abbott said of the raid. Around the same time, authorities arrested 3 illegal immigrants in an area in that area and seized 350 pounds of meth. Officials say that not only do we have illegal immigration, we're moving drugs in there. So there's cartel support in here too, and drugs moving through this area. Officials said that each of the 3 had previously been deported at least 4 times. Colony Ridge endangered American citizens by allowing illegal aliens to run rampant on its streets, in its schools, and in its community. Now it's time for those responsible to pay a steep cost for their unlawful actions. That'll be interesting on how that develops. But I've heard this talked about for a long time. There's been resolutions drafted about Colony Ridge. There's been people that have been trying to raise awareness about Colony Ridge. It's been an interesting development for sure. Anyway, 806-680-2790. We'll take the final break of the day, of the evening, back to wrap up the show when we come back on the Chad Hasty Show. I'm Steve Evans. Stick around.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio, The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Get hurt in the game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. It's been 27 years since a dad, his young daughter, and a work associate were murdered in Westminster, Colorado, and now local police are upping the reward to close the case. Paul Skiba, his 9-year-old daughter Sarah, and his employee Lorenzo Chivers disappeared February 7, 1999. Paul owned a moving company. Sarah tagged along for some moves that day, along with Lorenzo. Police say around 7 p.m. that day, something violent occurred. Investigators believe the 3 were murdered either in the truck yard or another location. The truck was found back in the lot the next day, but its moving ramps, blankets, straps were all missing. Police say evidence suggests the bodies were transported in the moving truck to an unknown location and have never been recovered. Recently, detectives have reanalyzed evidence and they're hoping an $11,000 reward will entice someone to come forward. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Westminster Police Department at 303-658-4360. There's more on this story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
This is Clay Travis. Don't forget to catch Buck and me on the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
to wrap up the show here on the Chad Hasty Show. Steve Evans hanging out with you this evening. Be back tomorrow and the day after that. 3 days of me. I have no idea what Chad's doing. He didn't tell me. He just said, hey, I need you to cover. I need you to cover another day and another day. No problem. Always happy to be with you. Always happy to come hang out here on the Chad Hasty Show. Always happy to be heckled by Hollywood. For sure. That's always fun. Always fun to try to decipher what Hollywood's talking about. For sure. And, of course, always love the drive-bys. Report card on thin ice. Clever title to this article we're going to wrap up with. We're now in the second week of public school walkouts over the Trump administration use of ICE in U.S. cities. It's happening all over the state. It's not just in Texas. Students all over the country poured into streets to protest, giving us all front row seats to how, I'm going to interject some words here, to how stupid young people are choosing to express themselves and what schools are doing to manage the situation. Hayes Consolidated Independent School District, that's down there in Kyle, Texas, north of San Marcos, made headlines this week, offering a clear example of the concerns many people have regarding these walkouts. Safety seems to be the main concern, as children have been seen in photos and videos walking in the street with minimal adult supervision. The Hayes superintendent sent a letter to families explaining how a young student got lost during the protest. Yesterday, a 12-year-old boy showed up at Lehman High School in tears, afraid and lost. He left Simon Middle School without permission during a student protest earlier that day and walked 5.5 miles until he found another school campus. He didn't know how he was going to get home. How'd he get out? The superintendent said the story highlighted some of the lesser-known effects of the campus walkouts, but every district letter I've read so far and a slew of news articles begs to differ. Unsafe conditions are not a lesser-known effect of these protests. They are one of the main concerns and are mentioned in almost everything written about the walkouts. The letter conveyed a much-used sentiment. We are doing our best to keep kids in class, but when hundreds of students simultaneously head to the doors, we don't have enough staff at each campus to stop them, nor are we allowed to physically restrain them. Well, take roll, send a notice home to the parents that your student walked out and let them deal with it. Parents are watching some pretty unsafe incidents online. In Nebraska, a student was hit by a car during a protest. And I'm telling you, if these guys, these students, young students, go start trying to block intersections and things like some of the stupid protests we've seen, they run the risk of getting hurt. During the Hayes walkout, there was a brawl that led to an adult male being arrested for assaulting a girl. There were also 2 Hayes students arrested, one charged with assault on a public servant, resisting arrest, interfering with public duties, and consumption and possession of alcohol by a minor. I'm going to walk out, get drunk, and be stupid. The other was charged with resisting arrest, interfering with public duties. One of the students was seen spitting on a police officer as she was being apprehended. Where does this come from? And while not all students were getting arrested or assaulted, their aggressive behavior and rhetoric were captured on display. Across the country, collective cry of most protest was a 4-letter word with ICE, paired with students flipping off the camera, carrying explicit signs, or singing along to songs screaming profanity about Trump. I'm having a hard time reading this one, Nick. Yeah, I think I can say it all, but I'm not going to. You use your imagination. Teachers have been talking about student discipline issues for a while now, and these protests have given the public a look at what they're dealing with on a daily basis. Another layer to this onion of concern was the political influence from teachers as staff was seen accompanying students in the streets. That's a problem. Unless they're just there, they're going to go protest and march, but I'm going to go with them. Maybe to look out for them. I hope that's the reason and not encouraging it. Most school districts claim this was for safety purposes, but there was some instances that showed otherwise. The Hayes superintendent told parents there was a picture of a teacher with a protest sign that included profanity and said this teacher was put on administrative leave and will not be returning to work in our school district. Pictures circulated of students carrying politically charged messages comparing Trump to Hitler and ICE or the KKK or the Gestapo. General theme, well, maybe at least they're learning about something. General themes include abolishing ICE, fascism, and stolen land. Now they're talking about stolen land. According to the 2025-2026 Hayes Independent School District Employee Handbook, teachers sign an agreement stating the use of district resources, including work time for political activities, is prohibited. After the initial protest, Hayes informed parents that they were hearing reports of continued protests and told parents that if they want to allow their children to participate in a protest activity, they would need to come and sign their children out of school. Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD principal Ryan Wilson was reported to have appeared on video encouraging Boswell High School students to protest. I hope the board fires him. If someone saw what you were doing and, heaven help us, decided to oppose what you were doing and got into some degree of physical altercation while you were trying to exercise your rights, that one's on me, Wilson told students over a megaphone before the protests began. That's on me as your principal because I did not create a space that was safe for you to exercise your rights and speak to something that is obviously important to you. What an idiot. Wilson said the students from other schools were joining to protest. I want to help you in a sense that it's not just Boswell, Wilson said. It's Chisholm, it's Saginaw, it's a collective effort. Again, what an idiot. In a post on X, Governor Abbott stated, our schools are for educating children, not for political indoctrination. They ought to arrest him and fire him. Many people also point to the current state of Texas education as an issue, questioning why students are out of class protesting when half the students in the state are not even achieving grade level proficiency in their studies. This is true of Hayes Consolidated Independent School District, where 50% of students are not on grade level across all subjects, reading, math, science, and social studies. At Simmons Middle School, where the 12-year-old got lost, just 1/3 of students are proficient across all subjects. It's interesting to note that only 12% of these students are at grade level in social studies. Do these students have sufficient historical context to even understand the political issues that they're protesting? Hayes addressed the effectiveness of the walkouts, admitting that the original protest messages get lost in what begins to appear as a one-upsmanship about what campus can protest the other. The district said it looks like kids are simply looking for excuses to skip school. That's exactly what they're doing. Wonder what it would look like if some of these factors were different. If student safety were accompanied by their parents, if students were safely accompanied by their parents, were polite and respectful, performed well academically, and seemed to have historical understanding of the issues, what would these protests have looked like? Hopefully we will see some of these changes in the future. But for right now, public school districts are coming under scrutiny as they are currently 5 districts under state takeover for unacceptable academic performance. Almost every week there are school closure announcements, declining enrollment. And in the middle of these protests, the state's education savings account program, the Texas Education Freedom Accounts, opened, and the last applicant count at the time of this article was 74,000 students. Unfortunately, these protests are not a good look for Texas public schools that are already on thin ice. Pun most definitely intended. Class dismissed. Enjoyed being with you today. Always do. Keep your kid in school. Don't let them go out and protest. This is the Chad Hasty Show on the Texas Town Square Media Network. I'm Steve Evans. Nick and I will be back with you tomorrow. Same time, same great station. Until then, hey, have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station, staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.